So Fab Five, legendary band, started in the late 1960s. Now with over 45 years. 45 years. Let me tell you, just incredible. 26 albums, several number one hits.
Sure.
Musicians featured on platinum recording records. Ladies and gentlemen, our very, 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 very special guest in the building with us this evening is the Fab Five Inc. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I hope you can hear me quite clearly.
Yes, indeed. Mr.
Can
Frankie
you
Campbell, the manager of the legendary band, joined us. Thank you. I'm Super Peck, and I've got alongside
Lady Lala Bella, it's such a pleasure to be in studio, to be able to see you and talk about the history and the legacy of this amazing band that just transcends genres.
remember I'm also the bass player, original bass player, you know. We are doing the Super League.
uh,
Remember, apart from being manager and the bass player,
well, you run things. You run things. That's all you have to say. Me run things. You know? But yeah, so tell us now, how did the band originally form?
well, okay, our Fab Five form, most of us went to a famous high school in Jamaica, Kingston College, KC. And
Oh,
some of us were in the choir. You know, we love music. And in those days, the young bands of today, back in the late 60s, the mid 60s, that was when the Beatles was kicking all over the world and stuff. And one of the most important things at that time was that once you're a musician, I had a band, then you automatically could get girls. So let's face that. Come on, everybody wants girls. I
right?
mean, more or less. So, you know, we decided to form a band. Of course, we all love music, you know, and so we formed a road band. You know, we called it a road band in those days. Because what we did was a road band like Byron. We took our cue from Byron Lee, the
Okay.
great Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. You know, he took music all over the island and eventually started touring all over the world. So we wanted to be like that, you know. So basically, when we started, believe it or not, we are now 53. Forget 45. We are now 53 years old. This
53.
November.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Big.
So,
Amazing. Congratulations.
but thank you. But Jamaica not doing badly now, because third world is almost 50 now, you know, and Lloyd Parks and we the people going on 50 also. So we're not bad, and you know, inner circle is over 50 also.
Yes.
So Jamaica going on pretty good with the old bands, and they're still doing well. You know, as you know, third world is doing very well. You know, inner circle doing very well. So back to Pop Five. So you know, when we started, it was we were a talented bunch. You know, so we went to Harry J's studio. That's where our first recording was done. The one you played earlier, Come Back and Stay, featuring the
Yes.
great Peter Scarlett. And you know, we recorded, and that song became our first number one. You know, and during that period, Harry J, because we were a young band, and Johnny Nash came to Jamaica, and he wanted to record reggae, because himself and Bob Marley were actually in Europe, and he learned a lot of Bob Marley songs. So when he came to Jamaica, he wanted a band to record those songs. So we did the album I Can See Clearly Now,
Okay.
which, as you know, sold platinum.
Yes.
And we paid on the tracks on those albums. But the bad news is that we didn't get paid.
You did not get any
He said he
paid.
didn't like it.
Did you get credits on? Is it?
No,
Are you credited officially on the
no,
albums?
no, sir, we didn't get nothing at all.
What?
Being young and you know, I guess very excited at the time just to record for Johnny Nash. When the album was finished, he said he didn't like how we played. Of course, he was lying.
Of
You know
course.
that.
It went
We know that
platinum.
now, right? And Bob Marley, that was Bob Marley's first international hit as a songwriter when we did Guava Jelly. You know, that was Bob Marley's first international hit, not as a singer, but as a songwriter, because Johnny Nash's version did very well. So it became so popular that even Barbra Streisand did a version,
Mm.
you know. So we're part of history. And of course, after that initial stages, we became the Jamaica's #1 band, and we played all over the island, of course, Jamaica, and then started touring. In those days, we even backed up Bob Marley on many occasions. We played with Bob Marley, many big shows. It was Fab Five and Bob Marley, and of course, since then, we played for everybody. You name the person from Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, you name them.
Well,
Beenie Man.
we will. Let's because this is a very impressive list here. All right, now, folks, listen to this. These are just some of the artists that the great Fab Five Band has worked with. All right, we've got Ray Charles, Dizzy Gillespie, The Grateful Dead, Rick James, Linda Ronstadt, the Neville Brothers, Roberta Flack, Fats Domino, Peter, Paul, and Mary. You're too young to know about them. Joe Jackson, the Shy Lights, Skeeter Davis, with whom you were working on a record partly when she passed. Is that correct with Skeeter Davis?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
Beautiful lady, Skeeter Davis.
We've got the Drifters, one of my personal favorites, Miriam Makeba. Wow. Bob Marley, of course, as you mentioned, Jimmy Cliff, Chuck Jackson, the Mighty Sparrow, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Jerry Butler, the Manhattans, Ray Goodman and Brown, the Delphonics, Barris Hammond, Marcia Griffiths, Queen Ifrica, the Taurus Riley, Mr. Vegas, the list goes on. Who have you not worked with in music?
We worked with just about anybody who has made it big out of Jamaica and a lot of Caribbean. We did shows with him. I'm feeling hot, Arrow, and all those people, and Alison Holness, Alison Hines, and all of them. So we're pretty covered the Caribbean and Jamaica, and a lot of the R&B singers, as you mentioned, in the world, we've done shows with and backed up a lot of them. So, we're really proud of that. In fact, we were the first band on Sunsplash. When Sunsplash, the first year Sunsplash started, we were the first band on Sunsplash. And we did the first 3 years of Sunsplash. And we were the first band on SunFest.
Wow.
We were the main band on SunFest. When Sunsplash left Montego Bay and SunFest took over, we were the first band, and we did the first few years again. So Papa has always been part of the history, even though a lot of people don't realize it or know this. We've always been part of the history. We toured with Rita Marley. We wrote most of Rita Marley hit songs, including One Draw. And we wrote and produced all of those songs, plus the Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. We produced most of the early songs. The first 2 albums, we did all of those songs.
Wow.
So we've been very close to the Marleys. Guap Cooper, our musical arranger and drummer, he worked with Bob Marley a lot and produced vocals for a lot of Bob Marley albums. So we've always been there, we're not really a soca band. We actually started playing soca quite late. We actually started playing soca all the way to 85. Before that, we were all reggae. We did a lot of big shows
before you go any further, Mr. Frankie, I've got to cut you right there, because you see, a band that drops songs like this can't get away with calling themselves not a soca band. This is.
We are a soca band too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with the great Frankie Campbell, who is the manager and bass player for the Fab Five Inc. Y'all, let's remind them about some of that soca greatness real quick. You couldn't go to a soca party in the 90s. You couldn't go to a soca party and not hear this song. All right, I don't care where it was in the world. Who remembers this one? Who remembers this one?
Woman! Sir. Yeah, me. Every woman deserve a good body. Every woman should have a good body. Every woman deserve a good body.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the great Fab Five Band. We're just going back down memory lane a little bit and just reminding them about how versatile this band was, how creative this band is, and the great work we've done. They've developed songs not only in Jamaican music, but also, as you heard, soca, all the Eastern Caribbean music. They've played soul, funk, rock, disco, gospel, classical music. Frankie, when you originally founded the band, how many members were in that original group?
6 of us, 5 instruments and lead vocals. So it was myself, Frankie Campbell on bass, great Bob Cooper on drums, Steve Golden, who later played with Peter Tosh on guitar, Tuna Bailey, lead guitar, was still there, Conroy Cooper, Bob's brother, was a musical director and keyboard player. Unfortunately, died a couple years ago, and the late great Peter Scarlett. Now, the thing about it is that we are the only Caribbean band in the world, obviously, that we won awards for reggae and we won awards for soca.
In the same year.
So, I heard they play a nice song a while ago for the young lady from Trinidad. And he said that she should have been nominated for a Grammy. And it's really, record really sounded good. But unfortunately, it's very difficult for other Caribbean people to get into the like Grammy fragment's sake. I don't know why. I think they're a bit biased towards Jamaicans, obviously. But we broke into the soca market by accident. In 1985, Bob Cooper, like I said, our main songwriter, came and said he heard a song the night before. Now, when Bob says he heard a song, it meant that the song came into his brain. That's how he writes a lot of his songs. So he was sleeping the night and just heard this song, which was You're Safe, a song called You're Safe, which became a #1 song in New York and all over the place. And we didn't know what to do with the song. It was a soca song. I was saying, all right, let's record it. So we recorded the song, and our distributors at the time, Sonic Sounds, they didn't know what to do with it either. So we said, listen, just release the song and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And of course, the rest is history. The song became a #1 song. The next year, we did an album. They wanted to do a mix album right away because the song was so popular. But we said, no, we want to do an all soca album. And of course, our soca album was the first all original Jamaican soca album. Because the rest of the band, Barely and stuff, used to use songs from Trinidad and 1 or 2 originals. But that was the first original soca album, and it became the album of the year in Jamaica in 1986. I mean, it beat out all the rest of reggae albums and any other albums that there was. So we're really proud of that. And like I said, we're not fight against soca, because we love soca. But, a lot of people think we're just a soca band, but we're obviously a reggae band. And we were a reggae band, and we still are a reggae band and a soca band. We just try to be as versatile as possible. Because, the Jamaican people, they love soca along with dancehall and reggae.
Yes.
So we do everything. And, so we have our dancehall hits. And of course, we have one of the most popular ballads in Jamaica, which to this day, asking for love. So we try to be as versatile as possible, like you mentioned a while ago, and we're very proud of that. Um, so when you come to a Fab Five party or a session, you're gonna get across the board. You're not gonna see a pure reggae or pure dancehall or pure soca for the whole night. You're gonna get a mixture. We specialize in Caribbean music, Jamaican music, and Caribbean music, but we do a lot of American stuff. Once the people want it, we do it.
Amazing, amazing, and do it very, very well. Right now, tell us about any new work that the band is doing. Are you currently still working on releasing any new music?
Yeah, well, actually, we've been working. We have had quite a couple new albums. We have one called Face to Face, which features people like Bear Salmon, Master Griffiths, along with it's a collab. Along with Fab Five, we have Mr. Vegas. We have all the popular, not so young, people who are still popular in the world.
Okay.
And we chose all of them were excited. We have Lost on it, we have Gem Miles on it, we have quite a few, really popular names. But somehow radio in Jamaica, mainstream radio in Jamaica, they're not playing the kind of reggae music like what you guys play a lot of, which is, to me, is a better sounding reggae music. We find that those songs are played mainly abroad, mainly in America and Canada and Europe. Jamaican people are stressing the very young, and these disposable songs that are supposed to be very popular but not breaking through on international markets as much as we did back in the day. We're not fighting against young people and their music, but I think they're missing the boat because what we achieved from our first homegrown hit record, which was by the Desmond Declaration Aces Israelites, was 1969. And since then, in the 70s, 80s, and even up to the 90s, we had a lot of hit records. But it stopped with Sean Paul and Shaggy in the early 2001, 2002. And since then, we've been struggling internationally.
Right.
And a lot of people internationally have been disappointed that we have let go the reggae in the true form. Because that when Nelson Mandela came to Jamaica, he said he had to come to Jamaica in the early days after he became president because they smuggled in Robbins Island with the prison a lot of Bob Marley tapes, and that really kept him. That was one of the reasons that kept him alive and kept him motivated when he heard the reggae songs from Bob Marley and people like Peter Tosh and others. So what Jamaica has done for that people, for African, for third world people, all over the world, all these last 50 years, it's incredible. But somehow the young people have lost the script. They didn't get the memo or something. So it's the impact for the last 15, 20 years, unfortunately, has not been the same. And we're not saying that you must sound like how we sounded back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or even the 90s. But keep the roots, keep the message in the music.
Right.
The beat will all be there. I mean, it's a great beat, as you know. Although it keeps changing. So the kind of music that you guys play, I mean, that's what we want to hear more of. And we want hits out of those kind of songs, the new ones. I mean, like Luciano song he played a while ago. That's not being played in Jamaica. They're not going to be playing Luciano.
Well, give thanks. Give thanks. That's why we're here. We want to definitely represent for the culture and give it a platform for more exposure and continue the exposure. And we want to thank you for spending your time with us because you're just also helping to educate the youngsters and let them know about this great band, the great legacy of the music. Now, what would you say, Mr. Campbell, can be done to help steer things back in that direction? What do you think can be done, and who should be doing it? Is the government should be involved? Is it more on the streets and the selectors? How do we spearhead a movement of change?
Well, generally, we think that it's kind of late now because unfortunately, with smartphones, the young people are not as influenced by radio or TV as much as before. But we think that radio still has a big part to play. Um, even if it's in the car with your parents driving to school or work, you know, or whatever, But the radio stations are dropping the ball. They're not playing the best of what we produce. Do you know that everybody is still producing? I mean, the Fab Five is still producing. Um, Barry Salmon is still producing. Luciano, like you played a while ago, is still producing. All the great ones are still producing. Now, the question is, if Bob Marley was alive, would they be playing Bob Marley's new stuff? Or would they not be playing Bob Marley at all? That's a
That's a
big
key
question.
question.
And
It's
I
a very
hardly
powerful
think they would
question.
have been playing Bob Marley. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So the young people, somehow the whole world has changed. Their lyrics is just poisonous, and they're really and truly are missable totally. And those are the hit songs. You have one or two with fun songs, great. I'm not saying no, but by and large, why are they so violent?
Right.
I'm saying they say it's reality. Yeah, we do a lot of things and it's reality. But are you going to expose that openly? Are we going to expose the reality to the children? You're going to shoot somebody in them head and says reality because it happens. Yeah, we know it happens.
Right.
But how are you going to take that to your baby, your kindergarten baby? I mean, it's crazy. So we're
It's
just
not
asking the
just a,
young
what
people.
about? It's not just about music that you hear, it's about music that you can feel, Mr. Campbell. We want to get
That's
people
right.
back to feeling the music instead of just listening to the music. And I
That's
mean,
right.
from the early beginnings of, I happen to know that the early beginnings of the Fab Five Band did begin on the Salvation Army School of the Blind in the backyard. Your early rehearsals did begin there. And from there to the world stage, where would you say is your favorite place to be performing?
Where's my favorite place to be performing? Well, probably where the my favorite place I will perform. My favorite place was actually in Cuba, Havana. We played at the Tropicana nightclub. Of course, this was back in the 70s when of course the Cold War was cold, and I mean, and Cuba was no. So Michael Manley was Prime Minister of Jamaica, and they said, "You want to go to Cuba?" And we being adventurous and young, I've said, "Of course." And man, we had great time in Cuba. I'm telling you, the people, we became the #1 band in Cuba, and of course we met Fidel Castro, and we performed at the Karl Marx Theater that holds 5,000, and we sold out every night. You
Wow.
know, and to this day, a lot of people see us, who've been to Cuba and say Pablo Cinco, and they remember us. Of course, unfortunately, we couldn't make any money, so we just did it for the love.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Cuba, you can't make money from Cuba,
Okay.
but Cuba is a great place. One of the great places. We have other places. Caribbean is really nice to play, and of course, our happy hunting ground is the U.S. and Canada naturally. Without US and Canada, most of us would die of hunger, because that's where you really make some money. And, these places are huge, so you can be touring all over the US and Canada and not be at the same place twice for the year.
Right.
So naturally, we love US and we love Canada. And Europe, of course, Papa don't really tour Europe that much, but we have been there. We've been to Japan about 6 times. We've been to Malaysia and other places. So the world is out there, but we still love home, and home is always the home. Home is where your heart is.
Right.
So of course we work mostly in Jamaica naturally still,
Yes.
and we love it. We were in Barbados a couple weeks ago for the festival for the what's I can't remember
Crop
reggae
over? No.
on the hill no
right
reggae
there.
on the hill.
Lovely.
Right, that big festival. We had third world right down there. Now the Iron and Ore scene, lady,
Yes.
and super. Iron and Ore scene is this, When we started this series about 15 years ago, the oldest, they called the oldest show, was very small. We did the oldest show in a hall, holding maybe probably 1,500 persons. And over the years, it has grown so much, and the music has changed so much that now ourselves, Third World and Maxi Priest did Kensington Oval, the cricket ground, the world famous cricket ground, Kensington Oval. And we got about 15, 20,000 people in Kensington Oval coming to our show. And the main show only got about 5,000 persons.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm
Yes.
talking about the music,
Yes.
the power of the good music,
Mhm.
of the
Yes, sir.
good music. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
telling you, so that, yeah, go ahead.
And let me tell you, like I said, when I was playing the songs, it's bringing me back to when I first heard a lot of these songs as a youth. You know, brings you right to that.
You
And
can't help but move.
it's and it's good vibes, good, and you know, and you were talking about lyrics and the lyrical content, you know, and you have songs like you know, that very suggestive in
Without saying
without
it
saying.
explicitly, you
Dub-
say it and make your point.
It's called double entendre. It's called double entendre. Therefore, a young child, 8 and 9 years old, they hear exactly what you're saying, because when Sparrow says saltfish, a young child knows he's talking about saltfish.
Right.
But all the big old course people like me and you, we know exactly what he means. But a young person, so it's called double entendre. Yeah, man, and that's a you know, it's a very creative way of doing these songs. And I know you're going to play one for us now at 551. Which
Well-
one were you going to play?
Well, you know, don't wear none is definitely for
There
me
we go.
the biggest. So we're gonna touch this one real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking with Mr. Frankie Campbell of the great Fab Five Inc. Listen, we're gonna touch this one real quick. Everybody, this is what you call double entendre.
If you really come out to party, if you wanna get on the southerly, if you wanna look real rootsy, if you really wanna feel irie, I could take one look in your face, I know you're wearing none. By the way you step in the place, I know you're wearing none. When you walk under the light, I could see you wearing none. I ain't no about no other night, but tonight you wearing none. Then the man who is a lover of natural beauty, to take one look at you and see you're a idol lady. So when you come a carnival party, when you wanna get on the southerly, if you wanna look real rootsy, and if you really want to feel irie,
Don't wear none.
Hey, Mr. Campbell, you're saying a lot with that one. You're saying a lot with that one. Now tell us, what can we look forward to as far as the dates? Any new rollouts? Any new events that you guys are going to be playing at? Please give us the down.
Yeah, well, you know, it's Christmas in Jamaica, and Christmas is a very busy time. We played last night on a show with George Nooks and Pam Hall and Jem Myers, and it was fantastic. And this, you know, we have shows every week, of course, up leading up to New Year's Eve, and then next year again we're back on the road. Hope to come near by you, and of course we keep in touch with Island Heat Radio. Fantastic.
You
I
know it.
enjoy the show a lot. And I know you guys are keeping the music alive. Caribbean music owes you a lot, because people like you are really playing the good Caribbean music that everybody should be hearing. So
Hearts of love.
congrats.
Give thanks.
Thank you so much.
Lala
Appreciate it.
Bella and Super. Yeah, man. Great show and great job you guys are doing. Really love it.
Give thanks, give thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, a big round of applause. Mr. Frankie Campbell, Order of Distinction.
OD.
OD.
Put some respect
all
on
right.
his name.
Yeah. Commander level, commander class. Okay.
All right.
And all the big shows that, you know, in Jamaica, the government shows, the official, of course, it's Fab Five. It's like the #1 band called.
See
you know.
that?
So thank you for always representing the nation with such pride and showing just excellence in your music over the years, and bringing that to the world, showing the people what a little island in the sun can produce. So give thanks to you, and may the legacy of Fab Five Band live on forever and ever. Give thanks to you, sir.
Indeed, respect.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, y'all. Oh, wow.
Fab Five.
The history.
Then and now. Amazing.